Yo, what is up, guys? Russ here again, coming at you with another commentary, walkthrough style video. This time for Necrotic Wake, or the Necrotic Wake, should I say. I hope that you guys are all having a good day, sitting comfortably, and yeah, just enjoy the ride. I'll try and talk through all the decisions that I go through. This one's a bit complicated. There's a lot of small little things requiring the items. This is a pre-nerf Necrotic Wake, by the way. I'll put the patch notes on screen for you now while we get in position for the key and things like that. They just made this key a bit easier, or a lot easier, should I say. Some of the packs which were harder, like the Necrolord packs, got nerfed a bit. And one of the biggest changes, in my opinion, is the fact that now when you die, you do not lose the items you're holding. That goes for the weapons like the shields, the hammers, the spears, the orbs, etc., etc. You now do not lose those when you die, making this key a lot easier, in my opinion. Because I think the timer is not very, like, the timer is kind of okay on this key, but it was very, very, very punishing. Having said that, it was like if you died and you dropped, usually as a rogue, as I'll explain in this video, you're pretty much stacking all the items on the rogue, because you're going to be running the Master Assassin Legendary. So I'll put that on the screen for you now. It's the one that gives you 100% crit when you come out of stealth. You basically stack all the items on the rogue, so that they can take advantage of the crit window and basically, give double throughput for every item that you use. So if the rogue ever died and he was holding like 3 items or something, key is almost over at that point. Definitely doable, but makes it a lot harder. So now with the new changes, you'll probably see a lot more Necrotic Wakes getting timed, because I've been in a lot of these keys, and whoo baby, there was a lot of disbands. And I'll talk you through like every item I pick up and how I use it and things like that. But as we're getting ready to go in for the key, I might as well just shout myself out real quick. Twitch.tv/JustRuss. That's why I'm down in the little bottom left corner right here. This one was done on stream with a few friends. We actually got a pretty good comp going. We got a mage and a boomy, and then myself, and then a DH tank, which is very nice, and a disc priest to give PI to the mage and the boomy, pretty much. So you shouldn't see me in this comp ever coming close to top on the DPS, but the Necrotic Wake is one of those ones where, as a rogue, you can at least, get closest. Your numbers definitely get inflated by all the items that you should be using, holding, and things like that. So I'll talk you through step by step as we go. You can see a rough note of how the items are going to be used in the top left, actually. It's an old note. Hana is not in the group with us, but all the ones that say Russ is pretty much how I'm going to use them, with a couple of differences, which I will go through as we get there. So I will be putting my gear and talents on the screen for you now. I decided to run Deeper Stratagem for this key. As you guys may know, I like to mix it up between Vigor, Deeper Strat, and Mark for Death. I did find that on Spiteful Week, the Mark for Death was definitely good, because you can snipe a lot of the Spiteful ghosties with the combo points, and then it resets as soon as they die. So definitely got a lot more combo point output from that. But I guess on this key, I just wasn't feeling it. I don't know. Maybe I was just being lazy. I think I probably decided there's definitely other things I should be focusing on than like min-maxing every single combo point, because, as I said, the timer on this key is not too crazy. It's more about execution. So especially before the nerfs. So as the key counts down now, we'll get right into it, and I'll just take you through pack by pack. Fast forward any parts where I feel like there's nothing to talk about, and yeah, I'll just just talk about all the roguey things and anything in general as well, not only rogue things, but just anything in general that I feel like might be useful for you guys. So straight off the bat here, then, I'm going to be sapping this harvester on the right and picking up the hammer that's just next to the left of him. You won't get put in combat by that, and it just means that it's one less thing you have to pick up later. I'll be using this hammer on the first pride with my mark of the Master Assassin crit window. And if I'd have gone straight into the pack here, especially with the Spitefuls, I'd have had a hard time re-stealthing to go sap that guy and pick up the hammer, right? Doesn't really matter if you pick it up before or after this pack, usually, but with Spiteful and combat, these ghosts keeping you in combat, you might have to wait around, and that means you can't go on the next pack, because the whole group doesn't want to wait around just so you can stealth, right? So if you miss like 3 seconds on this pack at the start, not the biggest deal. And you can also then use your Vanish in the pack for damage if you're running Master Assassin, of course. instead of having to use it after the pack to go sap the guy, right? So you generally get more damage. You miss like a couple seconds on the pull, but you get more damage. So we pulled 2 packs there, and now we're pulling the Vanguard pack into this pack on the right here. I'm going to be, I think that's my spear. Yeah, it's my spear as well on the next pack. So here I'm just sitting on the Vanguard. You can take every single kick on the Vanguard as a rogue. He won't cast it more often than your kick is up. So be ready for it. If you can, get it off. It's quite a quick cast, and then there's a channel. If you can cast it, if you can get the kick off on the initial cast, he won't put any shield on himself, and that's obviously the best case scenario. If you get it just after, then he's going to get a small shield. So just really be looking at that cast bar and be ready for it. As soon as your kick comes off cooldown, you know he's going to cast it like pretty much straight away. So do that. You can also shiv his enrage off if he gets too many stacks. That's just going to increase his damage, attack speed or something. Not too big of a deal. So here I'm calling out on Discord actually to tell my party to kill these shades so I can re-stealth, because I need to use this spear now on the next pack. And I want my crit window, obviously. So I'm calling out for them to kill these Spitefuls so I can get in stealth again. And here with the spear, I'm targeting the mob at the back, like the furthest back that I can. And I'm throwing the spear through everything to hit the mob at the back. So just line it up. It doesn't matter if it takes you a few seconds, you know, like the DPS, as you can see, I'm hitting like 50k DPS here. It doesn't matter that you're like delaying your opener, you know. You want to be making sure they all like kind of grouped up, and then you target the mob at the back and you throw the spear through the pack to the mob at the back, obviously with your Master Assassin buff. Yeah, so make short work of this pack. You get to look really good on the DPS meters. It's the one time that, you know, Rogue's ever going to hit those kind of numbers, so enjoy it while it lasts. Definitely a fun key for Rogue, this one actually. Necrotic Wake's like one of those keys where you can actually just feel like you're useful as a Rogue, because you're basically abusing the Master Assassin legendary. Yeah, so do make sure if possible you have this one. I'm just using it at you know, baseline rank 190 eye level just to get the legendary effect, because upgrading a ring is really not that big of a deal, you know. Like you just get a little bit extra secondaries and stuff. It's not huge. So now I've got my hammer ready for this pride. So I'm making sure I'm stealthed, and I'm going to instantly hammer, and as you can see, boom, takes away 40% of his HP straight off the bat. Crits for like 100 and something K, I didn't even quite see. But yeah, make short work of the pride, just makes it easier on the healer. That means we can get on with the boss a bit quicker. And yeah, one thing to note with the weapons in general, or these items, is you can hold more than one item. I'm just going to be using my Kyrian dude here to activate the Goliath before we pull the boss. And if you can, try and pull one of the trash packs into the boss if you have this Goliath orbs up, right? Because these orbs, they just do a ton of pulsing AoE damage and AoE healing, so they basically make you just like almost invincible. And yeah, just cleave all this down with the boss. Honestly, especially this is a fortified week, he's really completely a walkover. Even on Tyrannical, this guy is super easy. Just make sure that you keep your Blade Flurry up, you know, obviously when you're cleaving things. And if he's going to spawn the Carrion Worms, that's when he does the frontal cone on somebody. Just as soon as you see him doing the cone, you can already activate your Blade Flurry, like just before he actually finishes the cast. There's one less global that you have to use when the bugs are actually alive, these Carrion Worms. So just pre Blade Flurry, I guess, before the Carrion Worms. That's just one less thing, you know. Then you can use that global instead to use, you know, like an extra dispatch or a Sinister Strike or something. Something that's going to do more damage than the initial usage of Blade Flurry, because it really doesn't do that much damage, the little small AoE thing it does around you. This guy, super easy, especially with the orbs. As you can see, we're all doing like 13k DPS. Very nice. That's not even with, you know, any items from me. That's literally just these orbs. They just do so much damage. And you can see them ticking for like 2k, 5k crits on heals as well. And if we're all having that orb, you know, we're literally healing each other for 25k every second or two, you know, like as a party, as a collective. So then we're just going to go and clear pretty much the rest of this downstairs trash. A lot of the patrols and things. This was a very ballsy pull. We pulled the blight bags in here to the harvester pack. These blight bags throughout the dungeon, they do friendly fire damage. So I think they just explode and they just hit everything around them when they explode. So they hurt you when they explode, but they also hurt other trash around them when they explode. So if you can pull them, you know, into other packs, or, you know, when you pull a pack of them, you can focus one down so that they all blow up and stuff. It's just free DPS essentially, as long as you can deal with them actually hitting you and things and they jump around a little bit. But if you can deal with how they are and what they're going to be doing to your party, you might as well pull them in and just get the free DPS that they can offer by exploding on the other trash around them. Yeah. So just make sure on these harvesters you are kicking. Obviously you got your normal kick. You can also gouge. You can also kidney shot these harvesters as they're channeling. Obviously, if it's Spiteful week, when you're watching this or when you're doing this, just be aware for those Spitefuls, and do bear in mind that you can pop evasion if you really need to stay in and get a kick, or if you really need to stay in and do more damage or something like that, right? And yeah, you should be using your vanish, you know, for your crit window here. You know, you want to be maybe getting like 3 combo points, 4 combo points, vanish, ambush. I usually like pre-blade flurry, then I vanish, ambush. Sorry, no, I vanish, yes. I pre-blade flurry, I vanish, ambush, blade rush, and then I use my finisher. And that should all be in the crit window. So you get like a big AoE blade rush, uncapped targets in your crit window. Very nice to see all those crits lining up and things. So yeah, we came up this path here, and I do remember I was trying to talk about the items, so I will get around to that when I can. But here we're just going to pull these 2 dudes into the Necromancer pack. On the Necromancer pack, just know that the AoE on the ads that he summons doesn't do anything. They're going to despawn when he dies anyway. So just kick the mages. It's the bone mages that you need to kick. They do the frostbolt volley. That's very, very deadly, especially on Fortified. Just make sure you get kicks or CCs on the mages, and then you just focus down the Necromancer. If you can kick some of his casts, that's great. If not, it's fine as well. Just make sure that you don't let those mages go off, okay? And then on these bone carvers, you want to be hitting the, I think it's called the bone flay, and then like the heal as well, the heal they do. And here they were calling for me to get the Goliath, but I still didn't have it ready yet. It was ready in like 50 seconds. So we decided to pull the blight bags, finish those off. We're going to get pride off that, and then we're going to handle the pride. And then we're going to hopefully get the Goliath, but I don't think it was ready again, so we had to do one more pack. Then we got Goliath. Honestly, it was a little bit scuffed. We were a bit too fast because we just come from doing a 19, which we depleted actually. So we depleted, this was a 19 down to an 18. So this is like the second run we did. But yeah, pride is pride. Make sure you're using your feint. Make sure you're using your Crimson Vial and stuff like that. You know, it's simple at this point. You should know it by now. But yeah, what I was trying to say about the items is you can stack items on top of each other. So you can hold like 1 hammer, 1 spear, 1 orb, 1 shield. But you cannot hold a second of the same item. So you cannot hold 2 spears, 2 hammers, etc. Okay, so just bear that in mind. If you already have a hammer, don't take another hammer, or use the hammer before you pick up the next hammer, right? So I'm taking the orb here on the left, which we're going to be saving until we get upstairs. So also one other thing to note is the items stack like on top of each other. So if you pick up the orb first and then you pick up a hammer, you cannot just cycle through them and use the orb when you want. You have to like go back down through the stack of items to get to the orb. So you have to think about the order in which you're picking things up. You know, like this orb now I'm picking up now because I'm not going to need it until we're upstairs, right, in the necropolis after second boss. So I'm just going to do this, and then I'm going to stack a hammer on top of that, and then I'm going to stack a spear on top of that, as you'll see as we go through the key. I'm finally getting my Goliath out, and we will be using my same Kyrian little owl dude as we get to the next Goliath 2. He should still be up for that. And yeah, we're just going to do a shroud skip now past this deadly pack here. This one, I think you almost always, you know, skip this pack in somewhere or another. You can mind through them too, and if you can save your vanish for this point, you can pick up this hammer and you get an extra free hammer. Sometimes picking up this hammer brings you out of, like, you know, will pull aggro on that pack. You might body pull it sometimes, and sometimes you don't. So I only ever go for that hammer if I have vanish ready, just in case I body pull them. Because if I body pull them and I don't have vanish, I'm dead, right? So and if I'm holding this orb like I am now, this is pre-nerf, then obviously that's very, very bad. I would lose the hammer and the orb at that point. So I would not even go for that hammer if I didn't have vanish. If I didn't have my vanish ready then, I would have come and done this pack, use some combo points, reset my vanish because of Restless Blade's passive, getting the cooldown reduction, of course, and then I would have gone back, picked up the hammer, and then, you know, then I'd have vanished if I body pulled, right? But yeah, on this pack as well, what I can do, what I'm doing right now, is I'm blinding this mage, and then the tank's going to pull the other things away. So that just means that we don't have to manage kicks on the mage, and it just makes the pack a little bit easier. The blind will be back up by the time that I need it next, which is actually on the next Necromancer pack, where I'm going to do the exact same thing. except on the next one there's 2 mages, so we're going to shackle one and I'm going to blind the other one. So just blinding, if you pre-blind it during stealth, it does not bring you out of stealth. So you just run over to the mage, blind the mage, tell your tank that you're doing it, otherwise he might put like a, you know, sigil of chains on the ground, and then you're like, oh, well, I blinded that mage for no reason now, you know? So just pre-blind the mage, tell your tank, and then you don't have to deal with it for that whole pack. Now we're going to use the second Goliath, and then we're going to mount up, and we're going to go for a semi-big pull here. I've still got a hammer, and there's another hammer on the ground just here. I'm going to be using this hammer I'm currently holding on the Pride, and I'm going to be using the next hammer on the second boss. And I'll show you like how I'm going to be doing that with a spear. I'm going to be using the spear to increase the hammer's damage even further using my crit windows, but I'll show you what I'm doing there. This is just a semi-big pull with the orbs. Just make sure that you kill the Marauder. Make sure you kick the Marauder sphere. And when he puts the bone shield up, just focus the shield down. As soon as you get through the shield, the guy will just die. So you don't have to really put any damage on him until he puts the shield up, at which point you should focus him. So just let him do his thing, kick the fear. As soon as the shield goes up, you're going to be, here's me using the hammer right here. Boom, 172k crit on this Pride, and it stuns the Pride. And oh, he does still pulse AoE while he's stunned. Okay, I was actually wondering if he did that anymore. But there you go, he dies at like 9 stacks there, so that's great. And then I pick this hammer straight back up, and I'm going to be using that one on the boss, but I'm picking it up before the spear, so I get my spear on top of the hammer, which means that the order that I'll use them is spear, hammer, because the spear has to come off first and then the hammer afterwards. And the spear increases the damage you do. The spear increases the damage you do for like 10 seconds or something, as well as doing a bunch of damage. So I'm going to be spearing, it's going to do a bunch of damage, then I'm going to vanish, then I'm going to use the hammer, and it's going to do even further increased damage. You see me distract the patrol there just so that we don't get like a body pull or something on these 2 guys. On these bone carvers, these 2 bone carvers, I'm calling out, by the way, on Discord that is my spear. That is my goddamn spear, okay? It's not to cheese, it's just because it's literally the best for the overall group if the rogue takes them and abuses the crit window that he has, right? So watch out for this patrol. Make sure that you do not body pull this. On these bone carvers, you'll see that I kidney shotted one. These bone flays like destroy the tank. You can also gouge like I did just there. I walked in front, gouged him, and he cancelled the bone flay that was going to go on the tank. Generally the tank can tank them, but if 2 bone flays go off at the same time, or as we had on the previous key, these actually bugged out and did 3 bone flays in the same second, even though there's only 2 bone carvers, so it didn't really make any sense. But just make sure that you kidney one so they're desynced at least, so the bone flays don't hit at the exact same time, because that can one-shot your tank. So here I'm going to go and blind star. I'm going to make sure I'm in stealth, because I almost ran in and face tanked it. So I blind stealth, and the healer is shackling the orange, and then you've got the crossbowman. He's going to shoot people. That just kind of sucks. It's unfortunate, but it's fine. Just focus the necromancer down. This one kind of hurts, so don't be afraid to use your defenses on this pack. If you need to like evasion or cloak or something, or feint or anything like that, do it on this pack, because this pack is pretty deadly with these crossbowmen. And then maybe I should have gone and like activated the boss at that point. The tank just beat me to it, but maybe before that pack I should have gone and activated the boss or something while I was in stealth, maybe, just to save some RP time. But it turned out to not be a big deal for us. But yeah, if you're trying to make up every single valuable second, maybe that's something to you know, factor in. So as you can see here now, the spear is at the top of my item stack. We're going to bloodlust this boss. We have no pride though, it's fine. So I'm pretty much going to open, instantly use the spear, and then it's hitting for 100k, increasing the damage I do to the mob now. And then I'm going to I actually fucked up. I should have had my vanish ready. I actually fucked up. I did it on the 19, but yeah, I should have my vanish ready here. So what the plan was, I didn't realize that. I forgot that I fucked up here. Okay, so yeah, don't do like I did. Don't fuck up. Make sure you kill the Azoth, by the way. But what was the intention was that I was going to open with an ambush, use the spear, then just like wait till my crit window's gone. Then I was going to vanish, and then I was going to open with another ambush, and then I was going to use the hammer. And the hammer would have hit like 50% harder because and it did work on the 19. I'll probably put a clip of it, you know, up in the top left corner or something while we do this boss, and just show you like how it was supposed to work, maybe. But yeah, it was supposed to amplify the damage of the hammer during my second crit window, which would have been my vanish window, right? But obviously if I didn't have vanish, then I kind of screwed it up. As you can see here, I'm actually holding my vanish until these Az are dead, and then I'm probably going to use vanish hammer on the boss now, unless I actually don't remember if maybe I held onto the hammer because I didn't think that we needed to use it on the boss. But I am holding my vanish right now, as you can see. Just make sure that you do kill the ads. If you have classes that can hard CC them, like we shackled one of the mages, the final harvest does not affect them. Yeah, so actually I did use the hammer there, and it did like 10% of his HP, so that's really, really nice. So I did vanish and hammer just to finish him off. I still have the orb. Our mage is going to take the other orb, and he can use that, you know, inside of his combust for 100% crit also. So definitely it's good on the mage. I think he can amplify it further with Rune of Power and stuff like that. So he can use it during a combust or something to get like mega damage, as you're going to see him pop off probably on like the first pack upstairs. And I'm going to save mine for I think like the third or fourth pack up here. But yeah, that boss went down super smooth. As I was saying, if you got like a hunter, you can throw a trap onto the onto one of the bone mages, and as long as they're hard CC, that means like blind works, traps work, shackle undead works, stuff like that. Stuff like roots does not, because it's still like active and can attack you. So it has to be, I think, I'm not maybe cyclone works. I'm not 100% sure on cyclone, but I know that blind works, trap works, and shackle undead definitely work. Anything that's like a hard CC you can experiment with, but I will not take the blame if you wiped it. Okay, obviously they're supposed to be killed, but it just means it's one less mage to kick and bring in and kill. Basically it's one less health bar to go through if you've got a trap. So what we generally do is we just say like, okay, we'll throw a hunter frozen trap, frost trap, ice trap onto every skull marked mage or something. So then the hunter always throws that skull, and then we just kick the X, and then, you know, there's one less mage we have to deal with. So on this one, the priest was like, okay, I shackle skull basically for every single wave of ads. So upstairs, take it chill on these collectors. They do this cast called Gore Splatter, I think it's called. That one is like a huge AoE raid damage kind of thing. You really want to make sure that one's getting interrupted, as well as the stun they do. I'm pretty sure this is where our mage is going to pop his orb. It is, yeah. So you can see his damage is going off. He's standing in a Rune of Power. He's combusting. He's now just doing nuts damage, as well as, you know, the usual mage damage of them just doing insane damage as well. We're going to get pride off this pack. On the collector here, just make sure that you are not getting hit by his axe. Is it the collector that throws the axe? I think it's the collector. Yeah, when he throws the axe, just make sure that he's no, it's not the collector. It's, I don't know. There's one guy who throws the axe. I've got it now, I think. Yeah, sorry, it's the flesh crafter. The flesh crafter throws the axe, and you can use that to damage a mob basically. And if there's no mobs up, make sure that your tank stands between you and the flesh crafter, so that he can soak the axe instead, because it will one shot you, especially on Fortified. But yeah, like you can see here, our druid just managed to get it. I think it's a druid. He just managed to get it onto the mobs there. Although I did see the mage proc cauterize, so maybe it was the mage and he didn't quite get it. So I'm saving my orb for this next pack now with pride. So we're gonna get the pride, and we're gonna go into the left pack. And then we're obviously coordinating our cooldowns a little bit on Discord. We know that the mage has just used combust, so he'll have combust not for this next pack, but the pack afterwards. So I'm going to use my orb with pride on this next pack, and he's going to be using his combustion on the pack after that. So it's a lot of like when you get into the higher keys, it's about like burst damage, especially burst AoE, but even burst single target, as you'll see on this boss, a very good example of that. So how I use this orb is you click it once and it goes off for like 10 seconds. So I'm using it here in my Master Assassin window, and as soon as my Master Assassin's gone, I'm gonna vanish and re-stealth, and then the orb is still ticking. So it's like open, orb, wait till Master Assassin's gone, and then stealth, and then it'll keep ticking while you're in stealth as well, 100% crit while you're in stealth, and it'll bring you out of stealth, and then you'll have another 4 seconds. So you get like 8 seconds of crit while the orb is going off, which is insane damage. As you see, my DPS right there is kind of huge. So that's how you use the orb as the rogue. Make sure you have your vanish ready for when you're going to be using the orb. So hold your vanish if needed. So yeah, it's going to be open, orb, wait till your Master Assassin crit window buff has gone off, and then instantly press vanish, and then reopen again. And you'll have 8 seconds of 100% crit basically, right? You're basically just putting the windows back to back, and that orb is going to tick through that whole 8 seconds and just do like, as you saw, it's like 32k per tick. Yeah. So the rest of this trash is pretty simple. Just, you've seen it all before at this point. Make sure that you kick the collectors, gore splatter, and the fluids. You can also gouge, you can also kidney them, and you basically, it's kind of a DPS race with these Kyrian Stitchworks. We have our Boomy, our Balance Druid is going to be taunting. I don't think he did it on this pack actually. I think he messed up his taunt, but usually he's taunting these Kyrian Stitchworks off the tank at like 2 stacks or so. So that, because the tank will start just getting like absolutely mauled by these Stitchworks. You see that here he has 4 stacks on the armor debuff, or the damage taken increased debuff. And yeah, like these things just absolutely melt through tanks. And here was really bad actually. Like, I think if I remember correctly, yeah, there it is. If I remember correctly, we, like, someone said on Discord, like, oh shit, we have like 3 CRs, like we're fine on time, guys, let's just play good now. I think it might have even been like me, I don't know if I jinxed the key or something, but like we had all our CRs ready, and then we just used 3 CRs in like 2 minutes back to back there. Like, if you just saw, our priest died twice, I think somebody else died, and now you can't see, it's actually underneath my like song thingy because this was taken on stream, but we had, oh, I can see it on my yeah, we have 1 CR left, I think. I can see it like on my engineering combat res thingy. So I think we have 1 CR left. There we go. There's our last CR gone. So now our druid died. So like our priest died twice, and then our druid died to the fixate just there. And we were like, no, like we have to CR you, because he was like, oh, should I release? We're like, no, because it's the gauntlet, you know, like the boss is gonna, like the next pack activates instantly. So I had to go chuck the res on him. We were talking about that's why it's a little bit delayed, but that's fine, because he was saying like, oh, don't CR me, but I was like, no, we need you, dude. So this is the last pack. Just make sure on this gore grind guy, he's gonna turn randomly at you or someone else, and he's gonna do like an AoE small like frontal cone of like blood. That will pretty much one-shot you. So do make sure that you are dodging that. Like I have a weak aura that says dodge, and it flashes, and obviously you just look at his model. There's, I don't think, anything that you have to interrupt here. It's just these bile, are they called biles? Bits, gore grind bits. So there's nothing you have to interrupt, so you can literally just look at this guy's, you know, model and see him turning, and just make sure that you're like ready every, I don't know, 8 seconds or so. Probably, I would, if I had to guess it, probably like every 8 seconds he's going to turn, and there he is doing it again, and he's going to be yeah, just doing his frontal cone. So just make sure you do move out of that one. Move to the side instead of moving away, because it does have a little bit of range on it. Okay. And this is the gauntlet. So this is the gauntlet for the boss. The next guy is the poison dude. He's gonna throw like poison bomb at some random person in the party. On Fortified, it really hurts. Like, it almost one shots. So if you can, like, maybe pre-feint it or something, if it's going on you, it will kind of like wind up a charge, and then it will shoot at someone. We just had our priest die there now, so I'm not sure if we have a CR for him or not. Yeah, we didn't. So like, we ran through all of our CRs, and then we had another death that we had to release. So we're actually doing this last pack with our healer here, so we're trying to just like slow it. We got Ring of Frost down and stuff like that to try and just like, I don't know, stall the pack until the healer's back. But luckily, I think our DH might have had meta ready so that he could just take this pack. Yeah, he's in meta right now, so luckily it turned out kind of okay. But yeah, this rot spew guy, he's gonna throw that like poison bomb on the ground. Yeah, spew disease it's called. So it'll choose someone and it'll throw it at them. You can't avoid it. You could probably vanish it, but it'll probably go on somebody else, so it's not really worth saving. And at this point, we've actually used up all of our items to get up here. So yeah, this boss, quite often people want to like save their items for it so they can maybe one phase it or something like that. We had enough damage to just one phase it anyway. But yeah, like, honestly, it's not the biggest deal if you one phase it on or like kill it just afterwards. But what you do need to remember is basically you want the first hook from the Stitchwork ad to go up to the boss's like arena thing. And then you want the next one to be aimed at the boss, because it's going to be on his fixate when he comes down. So the first one at this stage, it pulls the boss down. The next one at the boss, because it lines up exactly with when he starts fixating someone, and it cancels the fixate. So try and like shoot it at the boss as he's just about to fixate. And then the third one if you're leaving the Stitchwork alive, back at the stage, and it'll instantly pull the boss will jump just up to the stage as he fires the hook, and he'll get pulled immediately downwards. So it's stage, boss, stage, and then after that, like, you should kill him in that second like window when you pull him down. If not, you need to kill off the Stitchworks and just do it like the old-fashioned way, pulling him down, you know, every time a new Stitchwork comes up. I have seen this boss bug out several times. Whether or not that's fixed, or I don't know. So as you can see here, oh, we actually fucked up. Yeah, I forgot about this. So he threw the green spludge at the ground right before the hook went off. So our priest actually missed it. So we're like, stop deep, stop deep, stop deeps. So well, actually no, I think we did deep so that because we know that he's going to summon a new Stitchwork now after this hook. So we were like, let's finish off this one. I got that one at the stage. The boss gets pulled down, and then we just bloodlust and just blow absolutely everything on the boss. So, and I'm moving the next hook over to the boss. No, I'm not. Oh, sorry, it's the next hook that goes on the boss, yeah, because of the fixate. Oh, okay, I see what's happened. So if you do it correctly, none of my plans worked out apparently in this key. I really wish that I had like a super clean run, but honestly it's so hard to get a clean Necrotic Wake run because there's so many potential like times when it can just, people get one shot or something goes badly wrong, and it's all about adapting on the fly, this key. So what's supposed to happen is what I said before the boss, which is the first one goes at the stage, but obviously our priest moved and then he fucked up. And then the next one goes at the boss, and you don't get that second Stitchwork because the boss comes down, he can't summon it, right? He can only summon them when he's on the stage. So, and then the third one, you fire it at the stage like preemptively before the boss comes alive, right? So here, this boss is just boring and takes ages. All you have to remember to do is run down the gauntlet and don't, just be patient with it. Don't run through the swirlies. Don't run through the icy rain that's coming down and stuff. And at the end, you can use your kidney shot on this dude. You can interrupt him as well. I played it kind of ballsy, like hook shotting through that swirly right there. But what you want to be doing is, try and you save your interrupt for him, interrupt him, and then just like get ready to go up. And if you can, watch the timers and try not to land during a comet storm, as I'm about to do right here. Obviously I didn't look at the timers on this one, so the comet storms are going to come like right as I land pretty much, which is really bad. So I actually cloak this preemptively because I think that maybe I'm going to get hit by a comet storm here. And remember to go to the corner straight after you come up from the gauntlet to drop the icy patch in the corner. Yeah, do not make sure that you do not I think as well, if I'd have cloaked a little bit later, I might have dropped the icy patch like on the boss as well, which would have been bad. So I kind of pre-cloaked, and then I went into the corner and dropped it. Just make sure you don't forget that. And as you can see here, every comet storm I'm also stacking on the tank, and we have agreed that we're gonna like stutter step to the right, so anti-clockwise around the boss. So I'm kind of behind the boss to get, not get dodge parried and stuff. And then I'm watching the timer for the comet storm. It's 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. So I'm going to stack on the tank now as the comet storm comes in, and we're going to move to the right. Moving to the right, stutter stepping, and then I'm just going to go back behind the boss and just watch the timer for the next comet storm, and basically just repeat that. Whoever's going in the gauntlet, it's their responsibility to make sure they drop that thingy in the corner. If he does the bonds on you, the frozen binds like I got just then, just make sure you do not like Cloak of Shadows that one off or something, because you might end up freezing your tank and he might end up dying from it, which can pretty much wipe the key if you don't have a Comet Res, which I think that we don't here. Somehow I took a tick of this Comet Storm. I'm not really sure how. But yeah, I almost died there. I think my cheat death proc, yeah, it did. So thank God for cheat death, huh? And yeah, like about the items, I guess I'll just talk about it now. The reason also that the rogue takes him, firstly, obviously, is for the Master Assassin abuse on the crit windows. But secondly, is because rogues generally have quite a lot of survivability. You've got your vanishes to maybe get out of bad situations. This is obviously more important, before the hot fixes, where they made you be able to keep the items through death. But before then, like if you lost your items, key is pretty much over. So rogues like not only have the damage from like the amplification, but they also have more survivability because they get like cheat death vanishes and things like that, and you can kind of reset more often. You're more likely to just like be able to get out of a fight and keep your items, Anyway, there you go. Key timed, almost 2-chested actually. We were only 30 seconds 28 seconds. No, my math is wrong. 38 seconds over the 2 chest. And we obviously had a lot of mistakes, as I said. Like, this wasn't the cleanest key of all time. It wasn't the worst. And you can see right here, I'm going through my damage meters. Bloody Javelin has done like 6% of my damage. The Forge Hammers have done like 4% of my damage. The Orb has done 10%, and the Goliath Anima Exhaust has done like 5%. So this key, kind of nutty for a rogue when you abuse that Master Assassin ring, or Legendary if you got it on the ring or the braces, that's up to you. But yeah, I use it on the ring, and a fun key as a rogue for sure. Like, you don't see rogues hitting 7k DPS very often, so I'll just take all the credit for that. Look at that. Look, me ahead of the boomy. But yeah, it's all in the items, baby. Okay. Thank you guys for watching, though. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. If you got any further questions, do leave them in the comment section below. Or you can catch me live on stream. I'll put that again up on the screen and down in the description below. I'd love to see as many of you there as possible. But yeah, if you got any questions, I've seen loads of comments about my UI. I am working on cleaning up my UI a little bit, and then I will make a full UI video. Like, people are asking me about my add-ons UIs, like every stream, every video and stuff like that. There is a free, like, the UI will be free regardless, and it is free. Like, there is a kind of scuffed work in progress version in my Discord if you want to join that one. There is a UI in there. There's a channel in there called like free UI or something. But I will be making like a full video on like my whole UI and add-ons, and listing all the add-ons and stuff like that, and the profiles and whatnot, you know. So if you can't wait, there's a scuffed version in the Discord. If you can, then a video will be coming out in future, as well as like maybe like a quick run through of Outlaw Rogue min-maxing and guides and stuff like that. Maybe some raid guides as well for Outlaw. So hopefully, subscribe if you're interested in any of that. Make sure you like the video if you like this one. Sorry, I've been blabbering on a little bit, but yeah, I appreciate all you guys. Thank you very, very much for hanging out, for watching. Yeah, as I said, any questions down below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, peace.